And then for the.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We can't. The community-wide yard sale will be held again on August 8th, 2026. There's a link on the agenda there that should be a hyperlink online, so please register if you're interested in doing that. Do we have any citizens to be heard?
I have something quick. In regard, I have a question for the chief. In regards to parking enforcement, a while back I had called with an issue with the ladies directly at the office here. You know, if you dial the regular police station number, 126, you know, so if it's during regular business hours, whatever, 8 to 4, Monday through Friday, I thought you would call them to address an issue, but this is new to me. When I called like a couple weeks ago, she said, I'll take care of it this time, but in the future, you're supposed to call the county, you know, non-emergency.
Yeah, so we handle all our calls through county. They
Okay.
dispatch us. Like, you wouldn't call, excuse me, you would not call the 911 center at all. You
Right.
call 6300,
Right,
which they will send the parking officer out. That one, it allows us to keep track of everything and make sure it's handled.
right,
So he calls on scene and he clears. And then that way they know where he is too.
right. And I wanted to clarify that, okay, to make sure that was correct, because then the other day I did that. And then when I called the 6300 and told him, I said, apparently this is supposed to go through you now. And the guy said to me, that's news to me. So I'm gonna go with what you said. That's.
It's the way we handle it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What? Is it in relation to the agenda item about the zoning? The easement and the sidewalk? Then no, we'll just wait, please.
Okay.
All right, first order of business is approval of the council minutes from April 27th meeting. Moved and seconded. Are there any additions or subtractions? Thank you. Oh, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, thank you. Next is the resolution 511-2601 for the disposition of records.
Oh, I'm going to approve. I'll second.
Moved and seconded.
We're still trying to clear out the HR office, so these are employees that no longer receive benefits, and Chris went through a lot of personnel records, so.
All right, any further questions? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next is our department reports. Do you have anyone here from codes?
No.
I am your representative.
Okay, lay it on.
The first report is the permit report, if you guys have any questions. The main change with the rapper leaving will be Barry Eisen will be taking those zoning permits, all the other permits that you see, building, floodplain development, those are permits that are already done through Barry Eisen. So the only thing that would be changing is taking the zoning permits and outsourcing them to Barry Eisen. One of the main things that we saw here in town was the 598 West Main Street. That was a demolition project. Turned out really nice. They planted grass and very quick. So
Yes.
one project that was a success.
Yeah, we got a lot of compliments on that.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions? Thank you.
Sorry, unrelated question. I don't see the agenda on the website, on the town website. Am I just looking in the wrong spot?
You go to the main page down to agendas.
Oh, it normally pops up without having to click anything.
Town council. Yep, should be there.
Developers.
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
Yep.
Some regular stuff, obviously trash, probably the biggest thing that stands out, we're wrapping up at Sunview and Clover. Ahead of next week paving, got all the crap in about, get back in the face. Driveway to this week, we're doing, some milling along the front of the driveways for top. We started opening the pool. Maybe that'll be put back together, the balance. Monthly stuff at the airport, hangar doors, got some stuff done at recycling. Got the trees back at State Farm, fixed a couple outlets there. And that, this week we're gonna start, rock out plans. And tomorrow after we want to plow in the street.
They didn't last better than last year, did they? They have any sort of improvements?
The flowers,
Yeah. Yeah.
Put a wire in a little bit more afterwards.
you have to give yourself credit. So Brady picked out two certain flower species. So we did pick them up at the greenhouse yesterday. So hopefully the new flowers will be better in the bowls.
Which great. Remember?
Tennis flowers. And. Can't think of the other one.
Yeah, it's a
More
species.
Colors on it.
Morris, maybe?
Wasn't really. Drop the like a little bit of water.
Great.
Do they smell good?
I didn't smell it.
Oh.
I'll try it.
I'm gonna climb the fence post.
Good, any other questions? All right, next, police report.
You have the police report in the council meeting or minutes agenda. Let me put it down here. You guys have any questions on that? If not, here in the near future, we're working on developing another way to give you a report for council. It's essentially going to cover more of the UCR uniform crimes. It's going to go over it and give you a better picture of what we actually are investigating per month, or what's at least reported per each month. And you will also get this too, so you can see how many calls come into the station, the 911 center, and all the other information that you're normally getting. But we're just going to try to put it in a better format, give you something that gives you maybe a better overall picture.
I was at your day on Friday at the elementary school, and I don't know why, but several children seem to know Officer Octor. They were asking if I did as well. So good on him for engaging with you.
Yes.
So I did send you council some information on the RMS. I didn't know if you had a chance to review it and if you had any feedback on it at all. Just because I know I'm going to be in discussion with them. The RMS is the new potential report management system. And if you don't, that's fine.
I think the only thing we can say is hope that other people buy in.
Okay.
I hope that you're working on it there.
Stuff from.
Yeah, I bet. But,
Officer Octor down. Yeah.
I've also been in talks with Passport for potentially coming up with some kind of online permitting section. They do have that. Does come at a cost of like $12,000 a year.
Okay.
Just so you guys are aware that that's in the works too.
I've also seen that they are either have already merged or they're merging with other parking companies, seem to all be consolidating. So hopefully the platform gets to be able to be used in more places than even thinks that it is today. So that becomes more useful.
Yeah, I mean, even with this little bit of a online permit, you can do dumpster permits. Because if they go into a parking stall, typically.
Yeah.
So that's a feature that could
That's cool.
help.
Okay, any other questions for the chief? Charlie?
Pictures in your packet on, what we've done throughout the year here, year to date, everything on movement of materials, everything's still going well. You will note in the agenda later on, for the calendar repair, we were down since April 24th on our main baler, and they got it up and running last Thursday, back today, did another fix, kudos to staff, though, they kept up on the one smaller baler by doing every material on cardboard and every other thing. Piles stacked up, the bins filled up, but they didn't keep product moving and stuff, so kudos to staff for seeing us through the downtime, but we had on that. Then you'll see the recycling bills went out, that's May 1st, like they are every year, around on the streets there. We all go through Berkheimer yet, again, we did that with the button on our website, so anybody that wants to click and pay, they'll pay the processing fee, but there's a button on our town website. Or they can follow the instructions on the page, with the mail to check in, call them on the phone, or you can do the credit card, that's why we free it last in the first party. And this is our second year done, so they don't have, I had a good place last year as far as how it processes worked for me. I mean, we'll work through the group well with that and we process those and like I said, less check rating and more payments being made directly and stuff, so. That's out in the streets there, so everybody's aware those are there. And then, our 902 grant, the equipment grant I talked to you about, has been submitted, that was due during May. And then, two non-recycling things, but one, I was able to present it with, I had a flood recovery regional session, I'm gonna probably go do a presentation at one of the sessions up there and, yeah. Good information, we should grow with, how big we for what we should do, even being our interacting and stuff as well. Interacting, it seems right, so that was good sections and stuff, so yeah, you can mention on that. And I was able to go to a regional tour to DC and Marvin, not only our local rep, but all the reps of that same factor, the whole state, we had about 1,000 through. There's West one is a highlight region in the town park, and they're well pleased. We started them at, it was literally 10 cars in a procession. Started at the pool and park and drove them down and showed them through the town park all the way down to the boat launch to Streeter.
Interactive reflecting pool.
But yes, we took that through and went really well for them, so, you know, highlighted that on the state people that oversee and see the grant program for there as well as from Harrisburg, so, you know, it's a good opportunity. And we made them that they were standing in the parking lot.
Oh,
Well, thank you.
yeah, that's great.
All right, any questions? So. All right, fire department. Chief McBride.
The reports are in your packet, continue to stay busy, we're still tracking. Right now, about 30 calls ahead of one a day for the year. Couple things to note coming up, we've been getting contacts, our first one or two rounds of the mixed community living are now contacting us back, wanting us to come back and do their fire drills or evacuation drills, excuse me, and our talks, our fire prevention talks. So if you see buildings being evacuated and you hear alarms, still take caution and see what's going on. It's either feast or famine. We get people who call at the drop of a hat and say, oh my God, something's happening. Or we have places where the alarm will go off for 45 minutes and no one will call. So, you know, but if you see, we're gonna be down at the Blizzard Senior Center in the middle of the day on the 28th. We will probably be at Bloom Towers early part of next month. And then you'll see a progression of the facilities throughout the community throughout the summer. We're gonna try and knock most of them out before it gets too hot for the residents. There is a new Blizzard Fire Department website. It's blizzardfd.org. We kept that. But it's a redesigned website. One of the things to note on there, which is really going to be hopefully beneficial to the community, is there is a pre-plan function on there. It is a information gathering tool for us. Basically what you can do if you have a business or a facility that you would want to add information on, like your utility shutoffs and that type of information. It's stuff that we can then repopulate and build into our dispatch mechanism that we can actually hit on the address. It'll tell us where your gas shutoff is, where your water shutoff is, where your electrical. So it's basically an integrated tool for us to be able to facilitate utility shutoffs a lot quicker and properly manage them a lot better. So we're trying to get more forward facing and trying to get that interaction. Because every time that we quote unquote like audited when ISO comes in, they want to see how we're interacting with the community. They want to see what we're doing and how we're actually promoting the fire education, public education, and the pre-planning portion of what we do. So that's one of the extra tools. So tinker with it if you see something, or if you have questions about that, let us know. We have a couple people that are developing it as it goes, and we're just kind of in the development phase. I think we're about 98%. It's up and running. We're still tinkering with it, but it's about 98% running. If anybody has any questions, feel free to stop by. It was nice to see people at the carnival. Thank you very much.
You know, it was raining.
Yeah, it rains, of course, like the fair, you know. If it doesn't rain, it rains at our farm. Last year was an anomaly. We had, I think, 4 good days of weather. This year we had rain for 3 of them, but Saturday was the second busiest day.
Good.
It was really good. Thank you for that. Other than that, I don't have anything else. That's all good for me.
If I can just publicly say, thank you for the board, that was absolutely fantastic. And learned a lot, and I don't know who enjoyed it more, me or my nephew. It was fantastic.
Very cool.
And it's kind of nice because we actually, when we see people, when we come by, we say if the doors are open, stop by. The other day, they had a couple guys that were down there, they were just doing some stuff on the rigs. And we had 2 cars pull up. The first car came up, got 4 applications. The next car came up, got 2 applications. So we're just basically saying, seriously, if the doors are open, stop. So there's 6 applications that are put in, and even if we get half of them, that's more than some departments are getting in a year.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great fun to visit. Great.
I highly recommend everybody to go visit the farm.
I do too.
It's
It's
impressive.
fantastic.
They're not even paying. All right.
Chief, I have one quick housekeeping thing. I got in the website, right when you get in the website where it says becoming a member, I spelled it MEMEVER. There's an extra in
Okay.
there.
I was gonna text you, but.
That's okay. I know the guy that's doing the administrative of it.
All right, any other questions? Great, next to the ambulance report, is anyone here for them?
No.
Okay. It's included in your packet. Oh, I did, run into, there were representatives from the EMS at the community resources fair that was at Mulberry Mill. And I asked about the fever, I'm like, what are you taking all these people up for the fever? It's what they have to enter for the sake of, because it covers a lot of things, like that can be flu, that can be, especially this time of year when there's the sort of thing, it gets entered as fever, so. It looks weird on a report, but there's legitimacy to it, it's not just people taking advantage of the system. So that's that. All right, next is admin finance. We didn't have a quorum for the last meeting, so this is pretty much just the agenda from the meeting last Wednesday. First item is recommendation to approve the April list of bills.
I'm moving for.
Second. Moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next is approval to remove Chris Barrett from the admin finance committee.
I'm gonna abstain. I still move.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Approval to end the 6-month probationary period of Brandon Ball effective May 10th, 2026.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions?
No, Brandon's doing very.
Yeah, he was at the career fair as well. He had a real good time. And did a great job, like overkill.
Great.
He passed his IPMC maintenance inspection already, so he's set.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
cool.
He's doing
All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those, thank you. Next is approval to end the 1-year probationary period of Chief Mike Fossey effective May 13th, 2026.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, please. say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Item E is approval to advertise for a director of finance.
Move to approve.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay. F is approval of the April 8th meeting minutes for the admin finance committee.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Seconded. Any additions or subtraction? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item G is approval of the April list of vendors.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you. H is approval to increase the advertised hourly rate for the parking enforcement position.
Move to approve.
Let's have a specific motion for that.
I'm gonna move to advertise for 2 hourly part-time employees for $20 an hour.
And
Oh, and to, temporary increase Tracy's
hourly,
hourly, rate by $2 temporary
while doing parking enforcement.
for parking enforcement.
Yes.
Yes.
Second.
So Jess had the original second, are you
Oh.
okay with that? Okay.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item I is approval of the Docio 5-year contract starting September 26th for printing and copier services.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item J is approve or remove Jack Breach as the check signer on all town accounts at Trinity Bank.
I'll move to approve.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Thank you. Item K is approval of the request for the town, Friends of the Town Pool Committee for the 2027 Renaissance to sell passes at the 2027 Renaissance event. Merchandise at the pool and offer barbecue chicken sales at the pool as well this summer.
I'll move to approve. I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions or concern?
Are they doing the barbecue chicken? When pools are open? After hours?
The pool's open until 7, so there was no hours specifically given for the barbecue.
Yes.
Is, Karen, you made the original motion, is there anything on the hours or
We want something?
Yeah, what's your question?
I'm just wondering,
the smell of it?
just one smell. So we don't.
Who doesn't swim around barbecue?
That's an American thing.
Confusion. What are they thinking about that? Is it like a trailer that's gonna be parked out in the parking lot?
I don't know, the details have yet to come from Gretchen.
No.
Once I get more information, I can pass it along.
It's good.
She's trying to plan her dinner arrangements. That's what it is.
Fine, like Georgia Center.
I was gonna say. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Item L is approval of quote for the fountain light replacement. We don't have that, do
Yeah, I did get, I received it this morning for 10 of the RGBW, which is just colored with also white. Low voltage LEDs, 10 of them, 4,860. And the reason they're $893 a light compared to $1,200 a light. Your biggest cost is because we would switch from a high voltage to a low voltage, you have to have the control panel. So the control panel is $6,000 and the power supply $5,000. That's really the money down.
So when we break even, switching to low voltage.
Never.
I've had at least 3 people reach out that are willing to chip in for this.
Okay.
So like, the discussion is really just how much is this gonna cost, and
Okay.
you can fill it in later. It's not really a money saving deal, it's the traction in town.
Right.
We'll
save money going that way.
Yeah.
We'll save
Yeah.
money.
So are we marking the cost up front and then looking for donations, or are we looking for donations and then buying?
I think that we should have her amend her story that this is the direction we're looking to go and solicit donations and see what we round up with.
As a government, we really can't proactively solicit donations, but
Can you say the town won't refuse any donations?
And DBI?
DBIs
are welcome.
Yeah, okay. Well, then let's work with our community partners
Yes.
to discuss a way to get better illumination for the town fountain. And we can vote on it at the next meeting.
Yeah.
All right. Good. That work?
So table,
Yes, we have a motion to table that then.
motion to table. Second.
Moved and seconded. All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Item N was approval of the amount of $492 for National Night Out. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? You. Next is approval to designate the town manager, administrative finance receptionist to serve in the role as co-acting finance directors for the sole purpose of collecting the amusement taxes and amusement device license fees under chapter 4, part 1 of the town code. Needed for legal.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Lisa, any?
Just-
Formality, right?
Yeah, so we had all, the papers were about an inch thick. We had them ready to go with Bev's name on them. Then she resigned, so then the ordinance lists director of finance, but since we don't have a director of finance, we need to actually have someone named when it goes to court, so. So now we're doing both myself and Joe in hopes of two of us staying put, so, yeah.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Item O is approval to have ESOP planner for pavilion platform in the amount of $1,108.28 annual.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah, can we add on for other things besides
Yeah.
the pavilion for any
The-
additional cost?
Yep, so there's no additional cost if we wanted to even do reservations on the tennis courts, the basketball courts, we could add that in. I met with them this afternoon and they basically have the system almost up and running. Livic did provide us a spreadsheet of all the current reservations this afternoon. So the hope is we can migrate that in and get a cutoff.
Great,
So,
okay. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
And that was a 5-year plan, correct? Was it 5-year?
for this one,
They don't raise it.
And-
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I had inquired about it, it's like, we,
Alright,
right?
okay, I thought it was
Yeah.
somewhere over 5 years.
Yep. Item P is approval to appoint the zoning officer and building codes official to Barry Izett Associates, term expiring 12/31/26. They'll probably be that kind.
To approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next is Public Works, Mr. Garmin.
Okay, approval of the invoice from Delta Airport Consultants Incorporated, amount of $42,185.54.
Move to approve.
Second.
Seconded. This is part of grant funded as well, correct?
correct.
Both of them are,
Both
correct?
A and B.
Right. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Okay, approval of the invoice from Delta Airport Consultants Incorporated, amount of $44,689.49.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next is recycling, Jess?
Approval of, approval of a quote from DE Equipment Inc. regarding the baler machine in the amount of $5,350. Also, an additional cost of $960 for a valve replacement.
So
I'll second.
It's the valve they had to come back for.
Now, the valve is what they found when they took the original cartridge for flow food down to the shop.
Oh, right.
There was some stuff found inside it. They had one on the shelf there, their shop or something. It's actually. But that was fine. The second thing is what, after that fix, it went backwards to the pump that pushes the hydraulic that they put on, which made the machine run. So when you see this in your list of bills, it'll look like it's 12,000 because we paid 50% of the first bill up front of 7,000. We owe the 7,000 more for the first, plus this 5, plus, so it'd be like 12,000 in your list of bills. So don't think it's 14 and 12, it's 7 and then the 12. Still a big number, but just wanted to let you know when you see it on the list of bills.
Yeah.
Where it played out.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next, Spark Pool, Jackie.
Item A, approval to add a little library to the Kiwanis sponsored pavilion at Town Park.
Oh,
so moved.
for that. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Opposed?
Sorry.
Sorry. Run with it.
Item B, approval to adjust the park bathroom times as requested by Brunswick Little League.
Just a little ways reached out, wanting to know if we could keep the bathrooms open until 9:30. Tuesdays and Fridays,
Tuesday and Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursdays. During the building season. So my only concern would be just, yeah, sure, about that.
Just the one closest to the fields there, right?
Yeah.
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 Any questions or concerns?
Do we have to make a motion first?
Yeah. We need a motion and second. Second, all in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next is codes.
Can you hear me?
Oh, go ahead.
Approval of the sketch plan for Fifth Street for preliminary review and design purposes only, with the understanding that the final approval shall require submission of the formal application to the planning commission and subsequent approval by town council. A, granting of 4.5-foot easement along West Street. B, sidewalks along Sterner Ave. And C, the town taking over 24-foot wide road after construction. Motion to approve.
Your motion,
Motion to approve.
and a second?
I just have one clarification. The request was not for sidewalks along the Stern. The Stern is not wide enough to support sidewalks.
Okay, so you're just asking for A and B or A and C?
I heard you. Just let me finish and then you can jump in because I know you're excited about it. No.
Guys. All right,
So the
so we have a
request,
motion and a second.
sorry, but the clarification was not to have the sidewalks on Stern, and the Stern is only like 600 feet, and put 2 5-foot sidewalks, you have a 6-foot drive, so I think everybody was on board with, sidewalks on Stern.
Okay. Mr. Hill,
This is not the motion that was approved by the planning commission. I'd like to withdraw it at this time and resubmit it for next month.
The motion that was made by the planning commission was to send the sketch plans to the town solicitor for review and to advise town council on how to proceed with the request. So the sketch plan council doesn't approve, it's just to provide comments and guidance onto the developer so that he can ultimately design his project based upon a preliminary plan that council is likely to approve as part of the process. Because what he doesn't want to do is go through a whole lot of time and expense in design, have to come forward with these requests in the form of waivers and have them be denied, then he has to go back to redesign. So it's really not approving the sketch plan, it's just really giving him guidance on how to proceed at the next step or the next level. So I don't think we need to take it off the agenda
Well,
for that
that's not what
purpose.
what the motion was, is to incorporate the engineer's report, which said that they needed the sidewalks on both sides, but not to accept the incorporation of, or the dedication of the road after the project was complete.
I'm reviewing the planning commission minutes and it
We
says
do
on.
not have minutes yet.
I'm reviewing whatever was sent to me from April 18th, where it says their planning commission minutes. It said on a motion made by Barry Thorne, seconded by Chris Barrett, and voted unanimously, the commission recommended sending the 3 requests to the town solicitor with the submitted sketch plans attached, as well as Greg Haas's recommendations. The solicitor shall advise town's council on how to proceed with Mr. Zeppetti's requests. So that was what was provided to me in terms of a motion.
Did you look at Greg Haas's report?
I looked at everything, and I had a Zoom call with Greg Haas and Kyle Bauman, and I believe Mike Reffer was on the call at the same time on April 29th.
And also because Councilmember Barrett, Ms. Smith Barrett was there, and it was basically 4-2 in favor of everything. But if I could just have 2 minutes, I could just give a little explanation. It'll make it a little simpler. If you look at West Street.
let's stop one second. Does everybody have an idea of what he's talking about?
Not yet.
No,
Tell us where you're talking.
So there's a development that he's looking to
Lisa,
do.
you have the
between
plan
Fifth
to
and
put up there?
Sixth,
No, it's okay.
and the old Milko parking lot. Where they currently are doing the commercial truck. Parking, all that sort of stuff.
So basically, the 3 requests, and this costs the council no money, and I know everybody spent a lot of time, money trying to make Bloomsburg a place where people want to come and live in families instead of Rapids. And the Jankowskis are here, Tom and John, and these guys have been here, they're local, and they want to do townhouses to be able to sell the townhouses to somebody where they can actually have home ownership. So if you just imagine West Street, there would be brand new curb and sidewalk all along West Street. And on the other side of the sidewalk, there's like 4.5 feet of additional right of way that would make the project better and serves like no purpose for the town. Now, keep in mind, if the town does this request, then that there's still a 5-foot buffer that nobody can build in there anyway. So the town has like 4.5 feet of extra right of way they don't need on the other side of the sidewalk. But if you give the right of way, then there's a 5-foot setback anyways, nothing can ever be built in there. And we were agreeing to, like, if the town ever wanted to do something, I don't think there's any proposal to widen West Street, but it just makes the project better. The second thing is, I know there's been another developer too, where there was a discouragement of sidewalks in the avenues or the alleys. And in this case, it's only 16 feet wide, and you wouldn't have people traversing a sidewalk on public ground. So it's not feasible, and I think everybody's okay with that. And then the third request was to take the road over. So, right, let me give you an example, say on Third Street right now, or Fourth Street or 20th Street, where the town is paying to repair, maintain not only the roadway, but the off-street parking. So what we did here was we just have the 24-foot road. We put a brand new road according to the specs, and the town only has to take the road over. Now you're not paying, and you get it brand new, it's gonna last for decades without doing anything other than just a swipe up and back. And it's one of the only spots, we don't know of any spot in the town where you would go from a public street, intersect another public street and go to another public street where the road in between is private. If it were like a cul-de-sac, you could say, okay, maybe that should be a private cul-de-sac. So all we're saying that the town put it to spec, your engineer inspects it, make sure everything's good. Just take the 24-foot strip. So now you're not having to maintain and plow and everything, parking stalls like you do all over town. And that way it allows the people to do the home ownership. And just like anywhere else in town, that would be normal. So those are the three requests. I feel they're very minor. I think it's in the spirit of trying to get people to come to Bloomsburg and have a home ownership. Anyone have any questions on those?
From my recollection from that planning session was that our recommendation was for Matt and the engineer to do the review and then come back to us for our input. Not for it to just come to full council for approval.
Well,
And
Because
Matt,
I think,
yeah.
I think,
So in Matt's email, I don't know, Matt, if you want to go through each one of these, but there is recommendations from Greg Haas, the planning engineer, and Matt Trowski as the solicitor. That might help council.
I have Greg's recommendations here and they're opposed
Yeah.
to what they're saying.
Hey, look, we know you're against everything. They just addressed their solicitor. You're interrupting. Let them, they ask them a question, let them answer.
You really did rude.
No, you're rude to me all the time. Everything I've ever brought, you've been against it, 100%.
Mr. Mayor.
Let them have communication.
Like, Matt,
that
come
was the
on,
planning.
Yeah,
meeting.
seriously.
like,
They
this
just
is
asked
not
me. Yeah, I know.
conducive to moving this forward.
We had a Zoom call, as I indicated, I believe on April 29th, which is reflected in the email that's part of the packet. And it really centered around three issues. Greg Hawes was on the call, Kyle Bauman from Code's office was on the call, and I think Mike Reffer as well. 2 out of the 3 requests, both myself and Mr. Hawes were not in favor of. The first was granting use of 4.5 feet of the town's easement or right of way along West Street. The main concern is, once you give up use of that particular area, you're not likely to get it back. I don't know what the future plans or needs for that area may be. However, those lots are going to be sold. They will be part of individuals' backyards, and if structures, fences, or other items are put in there and the town needs to widen its road, you're losing control over that area. So the recommendation was not to grant the 4.5 foot easement along West Street, which would essentially allow a small backyard for certain of these townhouse developments.
But would still leave us 42 feet.
Right, presently, but what it has is you have the cartway, the sidewalk, and then the 4.5 feet. What I can tell you is, I don't know what the future needs of that particular street may be. But what I'm telling you is, if you give up that 4.5 foot easement area, you're not likely to get it back.
But keep in mind, there's a 5-foot setback, so nothing could be built in there anyway. So actually, if the town has 4.5 feet, they give it up, and the setback's 5 foot, you still have nothing could ever be built in that.
Well, when we need a highway down, like.
Right, I'm saying, if there's no future plans for that, then this is a small request, and I understand that's point, but it, you know, when you marry that with the fact that it's a building setback, you can't build it there. Everything has to be on the other side of that. It's no loss for the town. It makes the project better, it gives 5 more feet for a kid to play. What it does do is when you don't get these simple, small requests at no cost, now the developers start thinking, or is somebody gonna wanna buy here with 5 foot less yard? Or do you make it a rental village? You see what I'm saying? So these decisions have ramifications because, and Lisa will tell you this, when you have fee simple properties that are buying and selling, when somebody moves out, comes back, there's transfer tax the town collects. There's a little better investment in it, but when you start, you know, discouraging this homeowners association, the backyard's a little shorter than it could have been. Now it's like, do we wanna, or they, because they're doing it, do they want to do this as a fee simple, or do you want to keep it as a rental? So these decisions are very important. If you had some aspirations that West Street was gonna be widened and there was some major thing for that, which I don't think is the case, you're not giving up anything. The sidewalk's still public, you get a brand new curb and sidewalk from 6th Street all the way to 5th Street, beautiful brand new sidewalk, and you add a little 4.5 feet for somebody to do a little backyard grilling, kids to play or something. I think it's a positive. Willing to put in the deeds, nothing to be built on there, it's in the setback anyway, you still can't do it. So I think the town is covered, I don't think there's any negative to that.
The problem is, even if it's in the deeds, people don't know what the covenants and restrictions are in the deeds, and if people do things that are not permitted, and you need to retake that easement area for some reason, you're gonna have extreme difficulty in fighting with these people to get it back. That was the concern from the engineer and my concern as well. I don't know whether there would be plans for West Street in the future, but who knows what the needs may be in 15 or 20 years.
They're not even on the setback anywhere, nobody can build 5 feet from the
They
right.
can if they come into the zoning hearing board and get a variance, if they wanna put something in there.
Well, I don't know, they're on a brand new.
Let me picture what you're saying there at the property now. If you're on 5th Street looking forward at your property going this way, how's the townhouse gonna lay out? Well, you're talking a backyard on West Street of the,
Yeah, well, the road will be right down the center. Take the 2 and go straight.
you're
down
gonna
the
put a road down through the center
Right
of
down the
that
center. So
property.
you have, so you have everybody facing towards the center. And so this would be like a little back, and the places you usually design the places to look like it's.
And then you'll have Turner Avenue and then you'll have the same thing again.
Yeah, just keep going straight down through. It's a very simple, clean way to do it. It's, I don't know, like I said, that. So many developers come in and ask for like big asks, can you town do this, can you do that, can we get CBDG funds? I mean, it's like 3 very small things that. Like I said, and I just want to do an aside here, if you go back to West Pine Avenue. There are 4 properties that front West Pine Avenue, west of Center Street. The Hotel McGee, Center Street, and Big Pine Avenue building, and the BTE. Those 4 properties pay more taxes per alley square foot than anywhere in the town of Bloomsburg or the history of the town of Bloomsburg. I challenge anyone to prove me wrong, and that's the worst road in the entire town. Here, you're getting a brand spanking new road according to specs. Won't have to do anything for decades, and you're getting all the taxes. If you weigh those 2 together, I mean, it's,
If I could speak to that, we believe in the market here, Bloomsburg real estate economies healthy.
I was looking at the.
Becoming more and more healthy to where now it will support fee simple, higher end townhomes, which is what we're gonna build here. Or fee simple, I mean, these are all needed in there, so there'd be owner occupiers and a development like that. Doesn't typically have private road, the HOA exists only to maintain a road, now you're creating an entire HOA and you're creating a complication to those property owners when this road connects from 5th Street to 6th Street. It's not a cul-de-sac that only serves the residents of the community, it's part of the neighborhood community. And walkability, connectivity for everybody in the neighborhood is improved by making that just continuous part of the public instead of an HOA, control. Private roads.
Similar to any project in Bloomsburg already.
Every street in town.
Yeah.
It's like every street in town.
No, but I mean like the townhouses down there.
If we were going to do something.
Yeah, that
like-
would look sort of like on like Ninth Street.
On Line Street, that area down
And
there.
here's another really important fact, I want you guys to be careful, because John studied this out. When a homeowner, which you want, I think you want, because we spend all that time on the rezoning, comes in with an HOA, it creates more problems on the secondary market for them to get mortgages. So now you're putting up another barrier when that person comes. Did you hear that, Justin? But the HOA system causes more of a problem with the homeowner to come in with the secondary market financing when they go to buy the place. So now the not taking over the road becomes an issue. The other alternative, somebody said, well, put the property line to the middle of the road. Okay, so now each homeowner's home insurance would have to cover the center of the road. I mean, it's bad. It's bad business. I don't think that's the spirit of what the last 2 years of the overhaul and everything. You want to try to make families, fewer rentals, more families. This is a simple way, cost you nothing to get a brand spanking new road. And if you do ever get a chance, please fix Pine Avenue up, because it is the worst avenue.
Matt, try living down on West Pine Ave.
Yeah. Well,
Come on.
What's Pine Avenue?
You got two council members that live down on West Pine Ave.
Yeah, but you agree,
No.
you go back there, it's worse, isn't it?
So,
You know, you get all those taxes. Here, you get a free brand new road.
so Matt, the first item, both you and Greg Hawes were opposed to. Do you want to go to the second one and walk through that one?
Yeah, the second one, my comment primarily dealt with Sterner Avenue. His, Greg's comment was a little broader with respect to the sidewalk requests in general. So let me find that again. He said the existing curb and sidewalk along Fifth Street can remain unless their conditions require replacement. That seems to make sense. The proposed new curb sidewalk along West Street is acceptable so long as detail is provided that shows the appropriate required curb reveal. So he has to provide the details in his plans. That's customary. The existing curb and proposed sidewalk along Sixth Street are acceptable unless the existing curb condition requires placement. That's fine. And his comment initially was curbs and sidewalks shall be provided along both sides of Sterner Avenue. We had the discussion in Sterner Avenue, presently the paved cartway, I believe, is 16 feet. If you put sidewalks in there, they're 5 and 5 on each side. It reduces down the paved cartway down to 6 feet, which is probably not drivable. That combined and looking at the site, it's probably not a high volume traveled area that vehicles would present hazards to pedestrians that would necessitate sidewalks there. So the thought was, we had no objection to not requiring sidewalks on Sterner. That seemed to make sense. And the last one with the 24-foot wide road being taken over by the town, we both thought that was not appropriate for the town to take that over, because essentially it was driveway maintenance for the developer here. We thought that should remain a private responsibility, either of the homeowners association or the owner retain ownership of that particular area.
It does connect through 2 town roads though.
3 town roads.
It connects through
Yeah, 3.
2 areas, and I don't think the proposed road would comply with the minimum street standards, if I recall correctly. It would be 24 feet wide. I thought it had to be a little wider than that. But
They have 24 feet down the
Highway lane.
that are there.
24 feet wide compared to anywhere else.
I'm not sure if it complies with the subdivision requirements. But that the consensus was not for the town to take over the proposed 24-foot wide road, which is essentially a road in the middle of their parking lot.
The issue with that is maybe, you know, Greg wasn't necessarily thinking fee simple. As soon as you put that in, where you want to sell, and a couple things happen and they can do that thumbs up to an appraiser. If a developer builds a townhouse to rent, it's a lot different than if they're building a house to sell to an owner. So you actually get a little bit enhanced project, more tax base, future, real estate sales, whenever you remove that specter of HOA and all that other stuff. So it's like the future stream is better on all cases where you now have people that have ownership versus rental. For a simple move of saying, we'll take a brand new 24-foot road for free and all the taxes for free, and all we have to do is zip up and back on the plow, on the 4-foot wide street to state.
And as Solicitor Garza correctly said, that one of the reasons we come to the council about something like this is to get direction. So that we're not investing in something that is approved. This particular location here with the minimum lot sizes that that district has, that the Saldo is built for, it's planned for, supports individual gated townhomes where others don't. You can build a rent. Like on the cul-de-sac coming in and everything, but because it's all one parcel owned by one owner, they're for rent. Here, minimum lot sizes are smaller so that you actually can have these simple deeded townhomes for owner occupiers. That's what we want to build in town of Bloomsburg. That we really can't build anywhere else. So we've identified it has to be down here. It's the perfect place where, because the Saldo was planned for that, it's the only place where they said, yeah, you can have townhouses and actually deed each one separately and not run into a coming to you for a variance on minimum lot size. It's a much bigger thing to ask. We're willing to build that road in municipal specs with the next two and I think just is more conducive to these owner occupiers who will occupy $100,000 more value per unit. You know, if it's something that isn't gonna be proven, we have to go back to planning on, we would potentially look at, yeah, it's probably more feasible or highest and best use to build a rental community down there. In which case you're having $200,000 townhomes instead of $370,000.
And then Matt's right, if it were that, then I 100% agree. If it's a rental situation, the landlord owns it, here's the townhouse for rent, there's no reason the town to take it over. But if it's fee simple for sale, then I think just like every street in the town of Bloomsburg that has a street and houses that are bought and sold on either side of it, this is no different. The best part is the town's not maintaining the extra parking stalls on either side like they do everywhere else. Here, you don't have to pay for that. You're only getting just a road, brand new, and you don't have any maintenance.
And just so council knows, my understanding before I came here tonight, that the only party that was involved with this was Matt Zapetti. I didn't know the involvement of the Jankowskis until they showed up here this evening. I do have to disclose that the Jankowskis have been long-term clients of our office. However, my analysis that I've given the council would not be affected by that relationship. Had I known they were involved with the project, I probably would have not reviewed the matter, but I only thought it was Mr. Zapetti's development.
That's it. Our company, Multi-Metric Commercial Real Estate, is developer of that.
And I didn't know that when it was provided.
Matt,
to me.
would you agree that you would look differently if you know that whole thing was under one ownership versus fee simple?
I don't, my analysis wouldn't change.
Why?
Because I don't think it's appropriate for the town to take over the 24-foot roadway, which is essentially a private driveway for the parking lot in the middle.
Well, I mean,
Go now with the engineers consensus as
I
well.
mean, let's look at Clover Court. Let's go back and look at a little history.
So I just want to say, we do have a current plan through Midland Point at Catherine and 8th, I believe it is. And same structure, like there's gonna be like, I think 3 units. And there are throughways that the town is not taking over. This is similar, where you would have apartment or rentals or houses with different complexes, but the town did not take over
But those,
that
there's rentals
throughway.
down there, though, Lisa. That project contains rentals. This we can't contain under this scenario, no rentals.
Yep, and I said no matter what it is, yeah.
But let's look at, you go to Scott Township, every development they do, we put the specs in. You gotta remember, you're competing against everything else. Do you want people to come into the town and buy, a residential and own? And so let's go back to Clover Court, because I was the original designer and developer of that 33 years ago. And most people didn't know that, but there's been 80 homes, paying taxes for 33 years, build up or not build up. And you had a road that we, had put in that was designed that hasn't been touched for 33 years. Okay, so here you get a 20-foot road, brand new, that Brady's not gonna have to touch for a long time. You just have to swipe it up and back. For that, you have homeownership versus rental in the town, brand new, and an enhanced tax base, and the ability to get the transfer taxes back and forth when they sell. Cost you zero. Or you get less of a tax base and for sharing with people, not what you're looking for. The whole spirit of everything you did on the rezoning was how do we make lots, how can we get more density, how can we do it? We're giving it to you for free.
Liz?
I have a couple of questions. You keep calling them townhouses. Are they connected?
Shared walls.
Okay, they are sharing walls.
Yeah, not condos, they share 4 ceilings as well. These are townhomes, just road
Okay.
Or.
And then how exactly do you plan to keep people from renting them out? You keep saying that they're for owners, that they're supposed to be owned. Yes, people buy property and then rent them out. So how exactly are you going to keep people from buying the properties to then rent them out?
Well, this is our goal, yeah, that they're going to be as fee simple, deeded, owner occupied built structures more expensive, so it really wouldn't be feasible. If you were gonna build them to rent, you run up against a market cap. If you say, here's a townhouse that was $225,000, it'll rent for $1,800 a month.
And what's
You
the
have
point of
$380,000
reselling it though?
Still rents for $2,800 a month, you can kind of hit a market, there's just aren't people renting for $3,500 a month, which is what you would need to make it feasible to rent a townhouse like what we're building. You need to get $4,000 a month, to cover it, it's just not likely that someone would buy one of these to rent. If we were building for rent, they would just be frankly cheaper units.
If you intend to utilize these townhouses as an investment, you'd be losing money every year. There's like the value of it versus the rent base.
Here's the thing. And I don't wanna bring it up, but I have to bring it up. These, like, when you're a developer and you're making these happen, and I said this in front of the planning, and my take was that 4 out of the 6 were stronger for it. When Barry Thorne is for me, it's gotta be good, because normally he's against me. But we know Dave Phillips, but we've been small about it. Why delay it? What's the goal? What's the goal of delaying? Nothing's gonna change. Like, here's 3 simple requests that cost you nothing, that are very minor, to get millions of dollars of tax base, which we desperately need after a 17% increase, which I didn't come here and yell at you about as one of the largest taxpayers. I don't know what more we could do and ask so little for. We should be asking for like a lot. Why don't the town put the road in? Hey, let the town put the road in and we'll give you a whole bunch of real estate. What we're gonna do for free. Yeah, I just don't get it. It's confusing to me. You got 2 good guys, all local people here. Young guys ready to rock and roll and do something good in this town, and they're asking for this much ground to make the project a little bit better. And take over road, put it into your specs, let your engineer inspect it and be good. And don't make a road 6 feet wide because you force sidewalks in when there's already sidewalks on 3 sides, if they have more than enough sidewalks to do whatever they want. It's really simple. It's just a simple, easy decision.
So the last statement in your email, Matt, said about it being located over.
Oh, yeah.
Storm drainage facilities?
Yeah, based upon the sketch plans, 2 of the 16 or 18 buildings were proposed to be located over existing stormwater easements that the town has, and the recommendation was no structure should be placed on that in case the town needs to access those for maintenance and repair.
Is that Snyder's Run or whatever they run?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Two buildings were proposed for that. You shouldn't have structures placed over easement areas. Those kinds of
I
facilities are located.
disagree on that. I have a building right next door that's got 150 feet of it over top of that. When you have such a short distance on a thick, huge, strong structure, it's so easy to access it and line it if you need to. It's not a big deal. I mean, I have a 40,000 square foot building. If you look, the gigantic portion of it right under there, it's been there for 50 years, and it'll probably be there another 50. But at least if you have to do it, it's on their plan, it's in the deed, people can see it, there's no hiding it. And if you have to access it, it's a little bit of a liner, it's not a big deal. I mean, I get the point, I'm not disagreeing with you, Matt, I'm just saying it's not a big deal.
So there's a lot of things that will go into a plan once an actual application is submitted. Things that are not being discussed here today are usually fire hydrants. That's usually taken on by the town through the fire fund. Right now, I believe, Matt, you're saying 1 and 3, both you and Greg Hawes are not recommending council to go forward with. 2.
We have no objection to as far as it pertains to Sterner Avenue.
And Chris, you made an original motion and then Garmin, you seconded it.
Well, I don't appreciate the presentation. I think that Mr. Spetti is 100% correct. And that this is what we have spent a lot of money encouraging. We have over that amount of space to develop, with a lot of it already being developed, with a lot of people that think that nothing should change once it's been developed. So if we have spaces that have not been developed in this manner, this is exactly what we're looking for. And I think he's 100% right that for the sake of, what is it, 18? How many units? 32 units,
32 homes.
32 homes, yeah, we'll plow a street.
Okay.
In my mind, that seems like a pretty fair trade-off.
It's just not what we had discussed in the.
Well, for the little bit of land even that we wanna give up. If they build there,
Yeah.
there's no reason for us,
No.
and if now or in the future to do anything with West Street. There was never anything in the plan, never anything.
It doesn't even go past the railroad
To
track.
give up, yeah.
This is the ass end of West Street. What possibly would we need 46 feet for?
Yep.
And Matt's doing his job.
Yeah.
It's a perfectly correct assessment. But I think that this is a wonderful development and we'd be stupid to give him a hard time about it.
I was excited about it. We had asked for it to be reviewed because we were
Yeah.
questioning some of the things
Yeah,
and, so I'm a little offended that it's coming in hot at a full council.
yeah,
Still getting material.
because this is still just to kick it back to the planning commission with saying like, we don't see any strong objection.
Yeah. And
Well,
then the
but the
planning,
thing is the decision needs to be made by council because, like Matt said in the beginning, if you don't have the decision on these key points, then you can't move forward and we'll be back the same month with the.
But this is only an understanding that final approval is required for submission of formal application to the planning commission.
Yes,
We're
but-
not making a final decision on anything
But
here.
we're only asking for the decision, will the council take the road over 24 feet if it's according to specs with the township engineer? That's a question that that question will never change, whether we come here a month from now, 2 or 3 or 6.
Well,
That-
but either way, the
needs to
effects
answer
of
that
tonight
question.
are,
What's that?
the effect of tonight is that it still has to go back to the planning commission.
It
No,
does,
so-
it does have to go back to the planning
Well, the whole
commission.
plan.
But-
Yeah.
Can I speak? It has to go back to the planning commission. However, what they need tonight is guidance in
Right.
terms of what council is likely to agree to, because certain of these things are gonna have to probably be approved as part of the final plan in terms of waivers and things like that. They need to know that in their initial designs. If council is on board with this, then that's how they're gonna design their project. They don't wanna go in there and then have the game plan change halfway through and have gone through a whole bunch of design
Understood.
and things like that, and council says no. So that's what they're looking for, is just guidance tonight on it. They're not approving the sketch plan, but how council would
So I
like
guess my
like
question
us to
to the
react.
planning would be, if you feel like that this is going to come back and you're going to have issues with it later, you should say so now. But if not, then you should vote yay.
And keep in mind, like Matt said, these are just the 3 questions. There's a lot of work that gets done. Built around these 3 things, that's gonna happen with normal planning stuff. That's a pretty arduous process, as you
Yeah.
know. Keep in mind too, these 2 parking lots were approved for a 220 bed nursing home and everything, so all the utilities, all the stuff's already down there. So these lots have been vetted fully by the planning commission and a developers agreement and the town council, so it's not like these are 2 grass lots out there. This has already been vetted for a pretty dramatic development. This is scaled down from that.
Well, and I think that it is, for all the people that had concerns about the development to which you're referring to, this is a much, this is a nice way to seal in the property as for what it will be for.
So we just respectfully would ask if the council can make the motion for those with the understanding that with that approval, we go back to planning, they go back to planning and finish the whole planning process, which, takes.
But it is just A and B, or A and C, because B is moot point.
Well, B isn't really a moot point because Sterner Avenue under the Saldo would require sidewalks. So
Okay.
I think you still need to act on all 3 of them.
So A, B, and C still all the same.
Yeah.
Alright,
Thank you.
the further questions? Concerns? Understand it.
so I guess what was the concern about it being problematic based on the layout for the road? Just says based on the layout.
The parking that's perpendicular to it.
Yeah, I think Greg had expressed some concern about snow plowing and removal. He said they were at 90s and normally they're angled a little bit differently. Again, that's a design type of issue. Normally, my experience is you don't see a town taking over roadway in the middle of somebody's private parking lot. And that's what the concern was. Typically, that's either maintained by the developer or a homeowners association.
I think there might be confusion on that on the design. It isn't a parking lot. Each town has a driveway and a garage door.
Well, essentially, John, it does act as a parking lot for all the vehicles that are gonna be there or access ways to there. So I think
Look
it
up
can be
along Fourth
parking.
Street. If you go up Fourth Street all the way on the right, you look at those little townhouses are there, the public service.
You're gonna have a homeowner association in the five with this or no?
We would not. Town wouldn't take over the road and dedicate that, then we would have to create a homeowner dedication for all these 32 residents, only for the purpose of plowing.
But I mean, that there's gonna be like little grass yards and stuff out back, that'll be individual. Okay, okay.
I agree.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
Are there any other questions or concerns? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
5-2. All right,
Thank you, guys.
thank you. Item 7 is old business. Lisa, I'm assuming you want the same thing.
Thank you.
Yes?
Yes.
Have a motion.
Motion to
I will make-
Second.
Second, all in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Carried. All right, next meeting will be June 8th.